Give me 1 second. Make sure this is going. I think we're live. Perfect. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to FirehouseHeavyweights TV. I'm your host, King Jerome. In this video, we're going to react to a state trooper doing CPR, and I'm going to talk to you guys about why it's important for you guys to know CPR, to do chest compressions, situations where someone looks like they might have gone down and they might have cardiac arrest or something might be happening, but you're not really sure. Why it's important to have CPR as your fail-safe to go to. So I first want to start this off with the story. Before I start the story, let's watch this first video that I got here. Let's check it out.
Oh, sir. You all right? 11-12 Canyon. Sir, you all right? 11-12.
He just went down. Boy, I can already say he's lucky. If these state patrol officers know what they're doing, and I'm sure they will, because early compressions helps literally everybody. But he's so lucky this happened right next to people who for sure will know CPR.
EMS. We're going to need EMS out at this 31, signal 5, break. We got EMS en route, sir, okay?
Matt, you think he had like a stroke or a heart attack?
Sir, I'm going to go grab first aid. Okay.
Well, my way or your way?
This arm comes straight up.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad they're turning him over because they're getting that sense that something's not right here. So I'm glad that they're doing this.
Turn this way. Hey, bud, how we doing?
Got no pulse?
No.
So one thing that the American Heart Association teaches, and it was very hard for me to kind of wrap my mind around this, is whenever you're feeling for a pulse on someone you think might be having cardiac arrest, if you feel a pulse, great. If you don't feel a pulse, start CPR. If you think you felt a pulse but you're not really sure, start CPR, because it's a good chance that you're not feeling it at all. As a matter of fact, me as a paramedic, I still have difficulty being able to find a good carotid pulse on anybody, whether they're dead or alive. And a lot of times to find one on people who may be in cardiac arrest, you got to go for the one by their crotch. I'm forgetting the name, but they have a pulse there, and that's supposed to be the strongest one. So let's see how this continues going. There you go.
Bruce, that's going to be a full arrest at this point.
There you go. Get two hands on that bad boy.
Get that ready. Let's get it on him.
Stay calm. Follow these instructions.
And that's what's awesome about those AEDs nowadays, that they talk to you and give you instructions. That is the most life-saving thing right there. These two things, chest compressions and early recognition if they need to be shocked. Early shocking is so important. You don't need to worry about if you're able to read an EKG strip or anything like that. That's something that we paramedics will do. But an AED will do it for you, and will give you all these super clear instructions.
Make sure 911 is called now. It can be placed on either of the two locations as shown on tab.
There?
Let me know if you guys have ever seen a situation like this in person in the comments.
Plastic. Firmly do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm.
We got the AED, started CPR, grabbed the AED, it was a shockable rhythm. It hit him once, and we've done CPR since.
Got a pulse of that?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I do.
Okay, fantastic.
I do.
Oh, that is awesome.
Tagging right now, or what you got? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
These fluctuating a little bit on me.
That's our rhythm now?
Yeah, we had
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Right.
That is such an awesome outcome because how quick they were able to get in there, get those defib pads on them, and let the AED do its thing. That is the number one reason why this guy got a pulse back. Whether you survived or not, who knows? But I hope you did, and I hope everybody turned out well. So, a story I want to tell you guys about, I think, my first ever cardiac arrest, and I never even knew it was a cardiac arrest. And I honestly have no idea whatever happened to this patient. So I was on my way to go get my kids from the after school program here in Wisconsin. I'm sure they do it in other places too. The YMCA will host after school program. So sweet. My kids ain't home right now. I can have a little more me time. Right now, me. No idea. So the software I'm using just kicked me off, and I'm glad I'm back. But the story I was just telling, I was on my way to go pick up my kids from school, and I seen this old man on his back, just laying back with his eyes wide open. His lawnmower was still running because he was just doing his lawn. So I get out and I go walk over to him. I'm like, "Hey, sir, can you hear me?" He's not really responding to me. His eyes are like super, like, I wouldn't say dilated, but just wide open with his mouth open. Now I know that this is like textbook cardiac arrest, whole 9 yards. Start chest compressions, start, defib, epinephrine, drugs like amiodarone, things like that, to try to get him going and get him to where we got to get him to if this is something that's actually going to work out for him. But I didn't know any of it at the time. So I walked up over there, and the only thing I ever learned from any CPR class or any kind of, not even a CPR class, but because at that point, I don't think I've taken a CPR class in like 6 years. And the only thing I could remember was recovery position. So I assumed maybe he fell back and hurt his head or something like that. And I just rolled him onto his side. And then some lady came down running, "I'm a first responder." And I was like, "Cool, here you go." Handed him off to the lady. I called 911 at least, but then I drove off. Thinking back on that situation years later now, I'm like, dang, who knows what could have actually turned out with that. Maybe, if only I knew then, if I was in doubt, just to start chest compressions. Because if they're not dead, if they're not in cardiac arrest, believe me, they're going to stop you or tell you to stop pushing on their chest like that. I promise you they will. I want to show you guys this other video because a big misconception is that cardiac arrest only happens to old people, but that's not the case. The youngest person I've ever seen have a heart attack was about 26 years old. The youngest person I've ever seen have a stroke was 14 years old. So I learned real quick in this profession that I cannot stereotype, strokes and heart attacks to only old people because it's not the case. It literally can happen to anybody. So let's check out this video right here.
Director of the UW Medicine Center for Sports Cardiology, and in the next 100 seconds, I want to show you how to recognize sudden cardiac arrest in an athlete.
He can be.
And I want you guys to realize that in these videos, all these athletes are like at the top of their game, right? Top of their game. And they're all dropping like flies.
Seen coming out of a timeout huddle, his head dropping. He stumbles, then alarmingly, he falls face first.
Here you see Keontae head drop, stumble, sudden collapse. This is what sudden cardiac arrest in an athlete looks like.
And collapses, just like Hamlin did, in sports from football to lacrosse to baseball.
In Mark Vivian Foe, he shows all the signs of sudden cardiac arrest. Continue breathing after collapse. Eyes open and rolled back. The face of sudden cardiac arrest.
And that face right there is the same exact face that old man had from the story I just told you. Was still breathing, right? Still had his eyes open, but he was not there. He was in cardiac arrest. And a lot of times in cardiac arrest, there's this thing called agonal gasp or agonal breathing. It looks like they're breathing, like it's like a couple of gasps, like, but they're not actually breathing. It's not breathing. It looks like breathing, and a lot of people assume, oh, this guy's breathing. He's still alive. No, he's not. No, he's not. So I'm really glad these people recognize this right away.
For Damar, after his arrest, his arms go up with seizure-like activity. And for Christian Erickson, a sudden collapse, also unresponsive, eyes open, brief seizure activity in his leg. This is sudden cardiac arrest.
We've been there, but that's not a good look at all.
With Claire, a dramatic episode, collapse with seizure-like activity in the arms, an amazing emergency response. Call for help, someone go get the AED.
And the big thing that they're talking about here is paying attention also for a little bit of seizure-like activity. What's crazy is, and I have a video in my channel about these kids reacting to their mom having a seizure, because all seizures are not the same. It's not the tonic-clonic or the grand mal seizures that you see a lot of people have with, but this is tonic-clonic, where all their body is completely shaking. Seizures do not always look like that, especially in children, especially in babies. Like just simply staring off can show signs of a seizure that way. And that's what happened to a mom in that one video I have in my channel. If you guys go check it out, how these kids responded, they acted like pros. It's very hard to spot those signs when someone is having even a little bit of a seizure, because it comes down to almost with cardiac arrest. It's kind of like you have a hunch that this might be a seizure, but you're not necessarily sure. But just in case, treat it as such. And that's the thing I want to make sure you guys take out of this, is that when in doubt, CPR. When in doubt, always call 911 first of all. And I should have mentioned that right away, but first thing, always call 911. And then do what you got to do.
Remember, in a collapsed athlete that is unresponsive to verbal stimuli and a shoulder tap, you must assume it's sudden cardiac arrest. Call for help, start chest compressions, get the AED. Anyone can save a life.
So that is the video, guys. I really hope this was helpful to you. Please, 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 even if you haven't taken a CPR class or anything like that, make sure you at least YouTube it or know what to do or know what to look for, because I promise you this can literally happen anywhere. Happens in school. Places I've gone to, for example, for people having cardiac arrest. In schools, libraries, at the park, grocery stores. I mean, anywhere, you name it. We even had a coworker once who went into cardiac arrest. And at first it's kind of like you pause because you can't believe that it's happening to one of us. But I'm telling you, dude, this happens all the time. A habit I have anywhere I go with my family, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's, I don't know, just anywhere, the mall, anything. I always picture these scenarios, right? Like just one scenario of like possible drowning for at a pool or something, choking for at a restaurant, uh, car accident, things like that. What should I be able to do? What do I need to do in case one of these things happen? And as hard it is to think about it because they're your loved ones, they're your kids, they might be your parents, they might be your spouse. You don't want to think about stuff like that. But getting those mental reps in will literally help you if that time ever comes. God forbid. But if that time ever does come, you will act quickly because you've rehearsed this in your mind a few times. So I hope this was pretty helpful to you guys. Make sure you go down onto my channel, check out the videos I was referencing to, and I think I'm going to start doing more of these lives more often. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought about this, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out of here.